Yay Networks.
Welcome.
Oh, wow. Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Fitish podcast. Are we in a good mood?
We're in an excellent mood.
We haven't been doing inventory checks. We're in a better mood than the other day.
Which day?
Well, 2 days ago when we were in a fight and I was in my closet and you flicked me off and I think you didn't think that I saw you, but I saw you in the mirror.
I think it was
I'm still actually really mad about that. I'm just laughing about it right now. That made me really mad. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Did you flick me off hoping that I saw it, or did you just do it as you walked away thinking I didn't see it, but I saw you in the bathroom?
Pretty sure I did it hoping that you see it.
Why would you do that?
You know, sometimes.
No, I don't know.
Sometimes I have reactions out of,
Emotional.
childish. you know?
Oh, I'm proud of you for saying that.
And I'm not proud of it. However, at the time, it seemed like a good idea, and I apologize.
Just now.
Well, I apologized before also.
Oh, you did? Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't hear you
yeah.
apologize.
Normally.
I don't like the flicking off the
Well,
partner.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in
And
mind.
now you're dismissing me again. Fran got
I'm not. I'm saying that's good. I'm going to keep that in mind.
came out of the gate with content ready for today. Yeah, people are like, oh, this is how the show's going to go today. No, Fran is under a lot of stress. And so I'm telling myself, it's just, I know, because normally we've had some fights lately, but I specifically recognize that Fran is super stressed out because you have this big project going on in Austin. You've been going back and forth quite a bit. So I think it's just so hard, right, in a relationship to kind of manage someone else's stress, especially with men, right? I'm just going to put you all into the same group because it's like, hey, what's wrong? Nothing. Is everything okay? Fine. Like, but you are stressed. Like, let's talk about it a little bit, right?
No, I tell you that I'm stressed. I'm telling you that I'm stressed out, and it's outlined.
And you know me, I'm like, let's talk about it. Have you seen the memes? This is just the way men and women are different. The memes that are going around on TikTok on like how if Biden drafts up women, making all women go to war, and it's memes of like a lot of, photos of the military.
Those
and
would be the meanest fucking words. I think girls could be even meaner. Like when it comes like
Hell yeah. But that's the joke, is like it's a combo of like, either some of the memes are like if you and I were together and we're in our fatigues and I'm like, hey, can you take a photo of me? Like I hate this angle, or it's just like, you talking to other girls in the military and me being pissed, or some of them are like a bunch of people are on the tank and sorry, my military terminology is shit, but they're like all riding on a tank and the little icon over it's just like, everyone make a serious face for this one. It's so funny. Well, we have to find levity at a time like this because fuck, I feel like an asshole every time I post something on social media right now. I know we're just inundated with things going on across the world.
Oppenheimer would have been a girl, that bomb would have a slow release,
No, that bomb.
It will kill the same amount of people, but slowly. Like it'll make him suffer for like
a long time,
like for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
and I technically think that bomb did make people suffer for.
Oh
a really
yeah,
long
no,
time.
and still
they're still
people
suffering.
suffer. I'm talking about the impact, the main impact.
Yeah, I think that's just how it goes. You're right. Yeah, women would be pretty brutal and emotional at war. But this is what's unfair, that women get deemed. I was having a phone conversation with someone yesterday that went a little south, and it's so funny because I recognize, especially when I'm having a conversation with someone that's not like you, right? Like we're in a relationship, so things can get emotionally charged. But when I recognize, I'm almost 40 years old, I think women definitely tend to be more emotionally mature than men. And I've noticed it even in business, but what men will do is they'll frame a conversation as, oh, you're getting upset. And I'm like, no, I'm just running fucking shit here. Like I'm running my business and I'm standing up for my business and I'm standing up for what's right in my business. But men will have this tendency to frame it as, I don't want to argue. I don't want you to get upset. And it's like, no, well, first of all, like we're having a conversation because you're the one with the issue as a man. You're the one with the issue and how I'm doing something. It's just so funny to me that men tend to frame things that way. And not all men, but I've noticed it tends to be a technique in business that men will use. It's like, oh, women get emotional. Well, just because I cry at a video of like a child dying overseas that I'm seeing on TikTok doesn't mean I'm emotional about business. I think that's been a really hard part about business. And you hear that a lot from women, but it's like, no, I'm actually like running my fucking shit every day. And yeah, sometimes there's drama and sometimes there's hard conversations to be had, but I hate when it gets framed as, oh, women are just so emotional. Like, if anything, I find the men to be super immature and, but that's just my
I think
opinion.
there's everything in every, like, they could be men that are very emotionally immature, and they could be men that are very emotionally trained.
The point is, when you do business and you work with a man that's an asshole that just like lays into the room in front of everyone, right? Fires someone on the spot, chews someone out on the spot. It's uncomfortable, but you're like, man, he's like a cold boss. He's running his shit. He's firing employees. This is what he has to do. But when a woman does that, she's such a cunt, she's a cunt, she's a bitch. And I think that's what's hard. It's
I think it's just the adjectives that change. I think men are also called cunts and bitches. Maybe not cunts and bitches. You see, the adjectives.
Dick would be the thing that works. Yeah. But it's just more acceptable for a man in business to be a dick and an asshole if he's doing well. But a woman, is just, and I think that's hard. It is. It's difficult because it's like, no, I'm really not a bitch. I'm just like being a boss ass bitch. See? So it's so condescending. For those of you that watch this on YouTube, he just like tapped my shoulder, which was basically a pat on the head, but I think he adjusted his hand placement before he did that, but it's fine.
No, babe, I think I don't see any difference when it comes to business with men or women. Or I think I've seen
fucking shit, Fran. The other day you were complaining to me about how much drama, a woman will bring into business. You were just saying that to me the other day. The other day we were having
I was talking about a specific situation where a woman was bringing drama into the equation. Mm-hmm. And I've also talked about situations where men are bringing drama into the equation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's, at least for me, it's a gender thing. It's not a gender thing for who's like emotional people or immature people or assholes people comes in every shape, gender, and form in my business, at least. Like, I've seen women running their business flawlessly, and I've seen men running their business flawlessly as the same as I've seen women just being.
No one is interested in your political correctness right now, your equality.
Well, that is what I've seen.
I always take moments, though, in business that get difficult, and I kind of go, okay, what have I learned from this? And I want to say something to y'all because I went to I flew out to Los Angeles for just one night for this cool dinner that I got invited to, which was with a bunch of founders, right? So it was men and women, similar position to me in business, startup kind of company, some of them much bigger than Fitish at this point. But I love that kind of surrounding, right? Because you get to really network, but more just kind of vent about business problems and kind of realize what everyone's going through. And I think, what I always tell people, and then I tell my team when I come back, is like, no one has their shit figured out. And I think that's what's so interesting is sometimes you'll look at a company from the outside and you're like, wow, they're just selling millions and millions of dollars. And from, PR and press releases that they're doing so well, and they may be doing so well, but they definitely have moments where they have no idea what they're doing. And so to kind of get to vent to other business owners about, they're telling me about their lawsuits and, just little things that are happening in the business world with them and just other, or, HR issues internally and things of that nature. And, sales are down and they let go of, tons of employees and they're back down to like less than even I have. And it's really interesting conversation. And I think that there's the lining to that to me is like, wow, I used to have people in my life that seem like they're great at business, but as you get closer and you speak with them, you realize that, either people either act like they know what they're doing, they really don't know what they're doing. But it just kind of goes to show, if you think about starting a business, but what holds you back is kind of the fear of, I have no idea what I'm doing. No one knows what they're doing. They're just more willing to take a risk than everyone else. And so you learn on the go, right? Like you pivot. I think it's all about kind of pivoting and figuring out what the next step is. And so if it's any solace to you and you've been thinking about starting a business, but you're scared because you don't have any business experience, none of us really ever started knowing what we're doing. You can't compare yourself to someone that's running like a Fortune 500 company, like the Jeff Bezos of the world or things like that. You know, most of us are just kind of figuring it as we go, and there are a lot of hiccups and a lot of mistakes.
And they're also figuring it as they go.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Absolutely.
Like I'm still reading that biography, Elon Musk's, and it's wild. It's wild the way that his mind works. But yeah, he jumps into things saying, I know the 3-4 basics, let's do it.
Yeah.
He has failed multiple times.
I think that's scary too, is like the bigger that you get, the more success that you get, the bigger, it's same with business. And that's what I've learned. I think that's what's gotten scary for us. You know, we grew to a certain point and then now trying to kind of grow to that next level, the risks are bigger. You know, you have to be willing to take, you know, bigger risks that have more of a financial.
And that is a key factor.
Yeah.
The risk. You have to be willing to take risk. Like you have to have the stomach. If you love your 9 to 5, that's great. And
there are definitely days that I miss the security of just knowing that no matter how shit I was at work or feeling off my game, you know, that I could like go to work at work, you know, when I was on the radio, leave work at work, go home, go about my own life, you know, exercise, rot in bed all weekend if I really wanted to, and I would still get a paycheck. And that's just not the case anymore running a business, you know, and I think that's what's so hard is kind of.
Or having a kid, because he's not allowing you to rot in bed a second.
No, but I will say, right, I think most of us parents probably agree on this, like having a kid is just, it's so nice when you do have a bad day at work or something that's kind of annoying happen and you get home and sure, you know, you still think about it, but it's so different, you know, like last night I took a bath with Remy, you were on your way back from Austin and we're in the bathtub together and he was having the best time and, you know, you just live for those moments where he's splashing you with water and especially right now. And I'm thinking how fucking lucky we are, those of us that have even chosen to, you know, be parents too, how fucking lucky we are to have these moments of time that are healthy. And I don't know, I just take my moments so much less for granted in life than I used to, you know, because I just want to have it forever. And that moment is so meaningful to me and it makes me so happy that I don't like really give a fuck about anything else in the moment, you know?
And that is exactly the same way I feel. Like I could be having the most stressful day.
Yeah.
I get home and he just makes everything go away, at least for that moment.
Peak happiness. So speaking of your drive to Austin yesterday, listening to that biography.
No tickets.
Really? I think everyone was waiting. The person, that wrote you last week asking how you still have a driver's license ended up DMing me. I think she felt bad and she was like,
oh, because
hey,
I
it was
didn't
me.
answer, maybe.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, no, she probably heard that we talked about it. She was like, oh, that was me that asked that. But it was really just like an honest question. I was like, damn right. It was an honest question. Like, thank you for asking him that, because if it's just me bugging him, I was like, we get in fights about your driving all the time, but more just because I get mad because I don't want you to, you know, lose your license or have to spend more and more money that we don't have to spend on tickets. But hopefully you can be safe.
Yeah.
On this drive that you're about to embark on. We have some questions coming up on the show today, one of which is am I going to Formula One, but I haven't made a decision yet. I don't know. It's a lot. I want to go, but Fran is working the whole weekend. And I mean, I think you're going to have a really good time down there.
Yes. No, I am sure like I'm going to have a wonderful time. We have a lot of moving pieces. I am managing around a team of 25 people and I need to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have like a extinguisher in my back just turning off fires. But
so yay.
I've always find a way to have fun.
Good.
And this is what I'm passionate about.
I asked Fran the other day, I mean, we have to talk about this on the show because I think it's such a, having trust in a relationship is so important. I think it's so hard. And I think I've also learned over time that trust isn't just something that is like there and it stays, right? Like when it comes to just trusting your partner, and I'm not just talking about like infidelity directly, but just like trust in general, that they are, I don't know, that you're in it, that we're on the same page, that you trust, that you just have, that you're being respected and that sort of thing. And so I say that because I think about it a lot. I think that there's a lot of moments in a relationship where trust can be challenged, and you want to be able to just be like, oh yeah, I trust someone, never had a doubt in my mind. And for me, and maybe that's how you feel, but for me, I kind of feel like trust is a kind of a constant, just like communication. Like trust is kind of this open conversation that you have about your day and what you're doing and what you have going on. So the other night we're laying in bed and I said to Fran, like, I know he's been really stressed. And of course, finding a place in Austin to stay at this time of year between ACL and Formula One and an Airbnb, especially because he has a bunch of people from Dallas that are going, and it's super expensive, super hard to find, kind of waiting on the budget from the client and on and on. So I get it. And so I asked him the other day, like, did you ever find a place? He's like, oh yeah. And I was like, well, who's staying there? And he lists like 3 women. And I was like, so you and 3 women are sharing a house? But he hadn't told me that yet, And so, and it's like 11 p.m. and I kind of laid there like, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to go to sleep. Like, I don't know. Am I okay? Like, I think, because of course I think, I don't know if he would be okay with that, right? Like if I were, and I trust you because I think that if you, I mean, I guess you, right. I don't know. I don't even really know how to put into words kind of the emotion of how I feel about stuff, because I don't necessarily think that you know what I mean? Like, I think it's just the environment or the not knowing and didn't know that was going to be the case, It's just kind of like one of those, oh, okay. Like, as I'm sure Fran would feel if I had only male coworkers at the office and they're all younger than me and I'm getting a house to share with them on a weekend. And I think you were pretty sympathetic to that when I brought it up. I was just kind of playing out that scenario. Like, how would you feel if I just randomly was like,
100%.
Didn't tell you where I was staying and you asked me and I'm like, oh, in this Airbnb, like outside of town with 3 men. You'd be like, I don't know. How would you truly, like, how would you feel?
I don't know. All depends the relationship with these men. I asked you in the morning, like, if you are uncomfortable with this, because I can see that you were, I can figure something out. And
am I wrong though when I say I think in a relationship, when I talk about trust being a constant, that there can be moments, right, where, and I think that where Fran and I have really struggled, my opinion, is like when we don't have the bandwidth as much for each other, with like what I may need in a relationship, right? Like, I think it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it in a way, it's kind of like a dance, isn't it? When if you're not feeling like you're getting enough attention, right? Or you feel that your partner, because his bandwidth, in all fairness, he's been super stressed and has a lot going on with work. And so, with that comes a lack of time. We haven't been going on dates. We haven't been doing anything like that. And, and it's okay. I don't think him and I really want to be leaving Remy all the time, but all of his extra times that he does have, which is very little, is spent with Remy. And he's so great that there's probably not a whole lot left for me when I'm sharing a stupid story about my day. And so I feel, as most women do, just kind of this lack of communication. So when that starts to pile up, and then you're also like, wow, I don't get enough time. I watched a guy, that Jay Shetty, who's so cool. He put it so well when he was speaking to a couple, because he said this woman, 2 of his closest friends, right? This couple, they've been on vacation together. And the woman comes home and she says to him, like, how was the trip? And she had said to her partner, I wish we spent more time together. And the guy's like, time? We were just on vacation together for a week. And so what she said to this Jay Shetty, I don't know if you know who he is. He has like those piercing blue eyes and he's a super kind of relationship motivational speaker with this podcast. He's amazing. Super insightful, really good human. And he said, well, what do you mean? And she goes, well, he was, like on his phone kind of working, on his iPad, reading books. Like, yeah, we were on vacation together. And he goes, you're not asking for time, you're asking for energy. And I think it's such a nice differentiation, because I think that in a relationship, we do spend a lot of time together, right? I think all of us as parents, you lay in bed together at night, you turn on the TV, you lay there next to each other on your phones, but you don't always get both ways, right? You don't get the kind of energy that sometimes you desire out of your significant other because we're all so depleted between work and stress, and our needs, are different or not met. And and that was a really interesting way to put it. And so I think that that's kind of what happens, right? So when the energy tank is sort of drained, and then you have a lot of distance between you physically with, what you have going on with work, that certain things can kind of creep in there and you start to worry about things that you wouldn't normally worry about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
I think like when you're really strong as a unit and you feel really confident in the relationship, that you don't care if your partner, for the most part, like, oh yeah, I had a lunch today with another woman or whatever, things like that just aren't that big of a deal because you trust your partner. But I think when the relationship starts to get a little tested with lack of attention, that little things, if that makes sense, the little things that didn't matter as much start to matter. So that's why it always takes a little maintenance.
No, I 100% agree.
My tank needs maintenance.
Well, I always have reserve for you.
For me?
Yeah, I always have reserve on that tank for you.
I'm okay. I understand the work situation. I just needed to digest it. I wasn't mad or anything. I was just kind of like, let me process it and see how I feel. And I wish that you had come to me and told me that. You know what I mean?
The things that we did talked about it before, and I explained the situation maybe a month and a half ago. But something I've learned is that talking about one thing one time doesn't do the trick in a relationship.
Well, I don't remember that conversation. I don't remember that conversation. I don't remember you telling me you were going to share it.
So, no, and I will make sure to make a point to outline.
Put it in writing, yeah.
Yeah.
Writing's always nice. There's always a track of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can be like,
email. Yeah.
That's why I send you calendar invites to everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you have it there.
Yeah.
It works
100%.
well with work, and deliverables. So yeah, that would make sense. You can put it in writing. Hey, Jenna, I have an Airbnb with 3 women. Just putting it on your radar.
This is not a ménage à trois.
Well, it would be a menage a cat.
No idea.
Right.
My French is not very good looking. So
that was just a menage a 4 instead of 3. Well,
but so yes, I understand. I think as I said, I can figure out a different situation with that.
I believe this is a great question for the therapist we have seen at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a sponsor of the Fitish podcast, and it's no secret that Fran and I have our issues. Isn't it nice when we're honest about it? I would be surprised if any relationship didn't have their issues from time to time. And if you don't, well, good for you. But for those of us that do, BetterHelp is such an incredible resource, whether it's the relationship counseling that you need and you both need to be on the phone call, or if you're just kind of seeking some guidance in your personal life and having a hard time. And I will say this, the holidays aren't too far away, and it's pretty well known that it can be a really difficult time for both relationships and just on people in general. It can often be a really lonely time, and if you haven't been feeling great, please start looking into BetterHelp. It is more affordable than other in-person therapies. It is so easy to get matched with a therapist that has expertise in the area that you are seeking qualified therapy for. And again, my favorite part about the service is the convenience of it, because you don't have to do the research yourself and go drive yourself to an appointment. You can literally just book online and do it in a moment from your office. You don't even have to turn the camera on. BetterHelp makes getting help so much easier and affordable. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Fitish today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Fitish. It really is the time of year to start talking about gift giving. And I love a creative gift. And I'm telling you, for those of you with kids, or if you have friends in your life with kids and you want to get them something appropriate, get them a subscription to KiwiCo. You're like, what is KiwiCo? I've never heard of it. KiwiCo is amazing. We've been customers for over a year now, actually. We started when Remy was just a baby, but KiwiCo has 9 different subscription lines for different ages and categories. So your child is going to get the coolest developmentally appropriate gift box delivered to your home full of activities, right? So this isn't just a toy that you just spent $30 on. You're gonna often get 5, 6 things in this box, and they're all developmentally appropriate, starting with the Panda Crate, which is what Remy started with when he was just a baby. And you may be thinking, what does an infant even do? Well, it's important to show them black and white flashcards. I would have never known that, right? The contrasting colors, because they can't even see in full color yet. But this is what's so great about KiwiCo. You know you're going to get something that is totally appropriate for their age, that's going to stimulate them and challenge them and actually help them learn, not just to be a toy that's going to fall apart that they're playing with. I would have loved this if someone had gifted it to me. And so that's why I think it's such a great gift for the expectant person or the person with a kid that's in your life and you need to get them something for the holidays. They deliver seriously fun hands-on projects. And if you're like, well, wait, my kid's not a baby, they're much older. Well, that's fine too, because as they get older, the activities just get cooler and cooler, and you can choose it based on your child's passion. So, maybe they're into science and engineering. You can order a crate that focuses on a very cool hands-on project that deals with science and engineering. There are gifts and activities for all ages and interests. Unwrap more than just a gift. Discover hands-on fun with KiwiCo. Get your first month free on any crate line at kiwico.com/Fitish. That's your first month free at KiwiCo, KIWICO.com/Fitish. No, I'm okay with it. I am. I mean, I'm okay with it as I can be because I trust you and I don't think that you would deliberately sabotage the relationship. I think that what remains important to me is just respect, right? Like that the relationship feels, I think you and I have talked about that a lot, right? We had that conversation a long time ago and it worked well for us of like, hey, you ever have like a meeting alone, because the reality is, my employees, for instance, right? Like if you didn't, I don't know yours as well. They're not your employees, but the people that you work with, I don't know them as well, like some that I haven't ever met. And I think that, again, builds trust, right? Kind of knowing the parties involved, like you said. You know everyone. There's no cause for concern as it would be. But I'm sure if I had a bunch of young, cute guys that were my only employees, right? And I was up here all the time with them, you would probably have more questions here and there than you do about, Danny and Victoria. It's just natural.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A lot of stuff happens in the workplace. It really does. I mean, I think in most everyone's life, you've had some sort of workplace romance or something's transpired or...
I've never been lucky enough to have that or had that in my past. I never had like a work romance.
But you've always been entrepreneurial. You haven't always really had an office.
Yeah, that's also true. I've never had a corporate job or somewhere that... But... I don't know. I think I try to
keep... You keep looking for it?
No, yeah. I keep my dick out of the payroll,
That's the expression.
I've always kept my dick out of the payroll.
That's so sweet. That was just a sweet, charming thing to say.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Good. I'm so, man, you had a pretty way with words. Can you say that in Spanish? I bet it sounds better.
Sí, o sea, no meto el pito en la nómina.
Yeah, it sounds better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I was trying to have Fran translate another Bad Bunny song last night, but he just doesn't care as much as I do. But I couldn't understand what these two guys were. They were cracking up on a TikTok. They were doing a podcast that looked just like Fran and I sitting here, but they were listening to Bad Bunny's one of his new songs. And they were dying laughing. And so then I show it to Fran. Fran starts laughing and I'm like, Tell me. Like, I want to know exactly, because in the comments I was trying to see and what my understanding of what they were dying over is then different than what Fran translated it to be. But everyone in the comments was blowing up saying basically, now what I'm about to say is incredibly vulgar. But I'm going to say it, but I gave you a heads up. But apparently Bad Bunny, and for those of you that listen to that, he is so vulgar in such a juvenile way. And I think my crush is slightly fading, which is fine. It was just a short-lived thing anyway. But his rapping it sounds so great, right? To those of us that don't understand the language. But I sometimes wonder how when you're Spanish speaking, you're actually really a fan, because he's so vulgar in a way that's just so literal that, like, he was saying something along the lines of what they were saying in the comments is that he's saying, like, when he licks my butthole really good, I take him to Ferrari. And Fran was saying he was just saying she, but a lot of the comments were saying in the lyrics that he's, kind of making like a homosexual reference. But that's not even the point. It's what he's saying that's just so literal. And there's so many other lyrics like that, which is just so funny, because we used to give all the rappers here so much shit for being so dirty. But then, and I remember being on vacation with you and your family, and your sister was just on and on about how much she hates especially with her
Well,
kids being that
especially
age.
yeah, like she has
Like a
teenage
10-year-old,
kids,
yeah.
and I'm not sensible. I don't have the sensibility to think, oh my god, that is actually really fucking bad
For a 10 or 12-year-old kid, yeah.
like, and like these guys are far from poets. Like
That's what I mean. That's what's so funny about it. He was just
The
like, some of
lyrics-
the other lyrics are like,
it's like literally you just put pussy, titties, penis,
buttholes.
buttholes, leaking and fucking, and you make a song. Oh, you have to add Miami maybe.
And VIP.
And VIP.
VIP and your auntie.
Yeah.
And your girlfriends. Yeah. It is so funny, but it's so like amazing sounding and hot in Spanish when you don't fully understand the language. But then when you break it down for me, it's like, oh, this is how it's,
That's what we
so
like.
juvenile.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's so mind baffling that we actually like that.
He's doing something right. He's hosting.
Oh, 100%.
I think he's hosting the musical guest on SNL this weekend,
Well,
actually. How about that?
Yeah, no,
Power
bet you-
play.
you're excited about that. See your Bad Bunny there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just had a thing for a minute, but it was short lived.
If you lick my asshole, right, I'm not gonna take you to Ferrari.
Exactly why I'm not licking your asshole.
Oh, if that will be the case, you will do it?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me save some money.
Yeah.
You know, I'll hit you up. Hey,
I mean, I've never been in a scenario in life, right? I mean, does that feel very, yeah.
what about Maserati? I'm pretty sure I can manage that right now.
That just made me sound so terrible. I didn't even like think before I said yes, because what's funny is I don't even like care
That's the
that much
best
about
answer.
money. I really don't, but like I've never been in a situation, a
It's
relationship where a
everybody
guy's
got
like,
it.
Hey,
You don't have to explain yourself. Everybody got where you were coming from. They understand my situation now. It's clear.
which is what?
Like a Ferrari will do the trick.
I mean, most of us have done way more for way less.
No, 100%.
Does that make sense? Yeah, way more for way less. You know, you're taking
Yeah.
one for the team. Like most of us in our lives as women, we've done way more things for way less.
Yeah, no, I get it. Now I have to pay the price. Shit. You should have done. You should have made the other guys pay the price. Why? Like,
I was never lucky enough to like be with someone, I guess, that wanted to
Offer a Ferrari
offer
for a
me
bottle licky?
Let's be real. Like, how
Lickety
are some of these
split?
women are just like nailing life in a way? Like when they just want money, like they're finding it. And I mean, nothing's fucking free. Like I've been down that road. Like I don't ever really want to deal with some piece of shit that like has some money for, you know, not a great relationship, but like. It's just so funny because these women are like, I know them. Like I've had friends that were dating a guy and they're kind of like on the outs and they're like, but man, he bought me a car, but he's going to let me keep the car. And I'm like, that's fucking amazing for you. You get that bag, girl. You get it.
and
People were talking
look at
about-
me, guys that like equality.
Equality. People were talking about, this is such a pop culture reference you won't get, but I saw a video last night about that girl that is dating Kanye West. That's like he's
I
turning
like
her
how
into,
people frame all these as pop culture. Like, what's so cultural about
about Kanye
it?
West.
Yeah, no, about all these facts that seem something that you will see at DMZ.
Because that's just what the genre is called, babe.
Really?
Yeah. You could kind of compare it to like genres of music. Like if I was going to tell you a story about, you know, something that happened in, 1970, like that would be history, right?
Or real culture.
Historical culture,
Yeah.
probably. But pop culture is really kind of any buzzy news thing going on at the moment that has to do with, I think, celebrity entertainment, right? Wouldn't that kind of be the way to describe it?
Not
Is that
an
your
expert.
issue today?
No,
You're not an
I
expert?
no.
Pop
Right now I have
culture?
a list.
I mean, I used to have to do the celebrity stuff for a living, and I'm glad I don't. I'm glad I just get to like nitpick on the things that are kind of interesting. I I don't really care about all the Kanye West drama, but the whole point of this is something I saw that's so interesting that I think a lot of people don't know is like he started dating this girl and, he's on a whole tilt now and doing such weird stuff. But everyone's saying this girl, like she must be under his thumb. Like she's hardly dressed. They're in Italy. Like everything about it's so weird. Well, come to find out, apparently they got married. There is a prenup, right? However, he made her his power of attorney. Like a medical power of attorney. She comes from like some notorious crime family. She knows exactly what the fuck she's doing. She's gonna take him for all he has, She's fucking smart. And that's what she wants. If that's what you want in your life, you want to put up with that shit for a while. But smart of her.
Yeah.
If that's what she wants. Women are smart. Women are smart at getting what they want.
Yeah, no, 100%.
We did get some questions for the show. Nothing about buttholes and Ferraris. Thank goodness.
Well, I'll eat yours.
I would have some. Thank you. I wasn't sure to take that offer. Just thank you very much. I'll let you know when I,
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Other than that, I hope my grandma doesn't listen to this one today, especially. Well, it went south. No, we did get some questions though. So mainly, Jenna, are you going to Formula One this Sunday? I'm sorry, it says Fran, is Jenna going to Formula One this Sunday?
Yeah, if she wants to.
Really?
Babe, I'm pretty sure I can get you in for sure. Like, I have a bedroom with a queen size, I think.
That's right. It might be full though.
No, the queen size is gonna be pretty fucking empty.
Of all the promo models.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I would have worked.
You say that right now.
You doubt my work ability
I
to
do
help
not.
you
I do
sell
not.
your real estate?
I do not.
Give me that Brooks Brothers button up. Put me at a podium. I'll get some men. I'll get some men to come look at. Hey, I know I can zero in on the rich guys at Formula One and get them to come look at the condos.
Yeah. Well, fuck. I don't think we can afford you though.
Free. Just lodging and a butthole licking. I'm sorry. This show's gone so off the rails gross. I'm so sorry. That's where Fran draws the line. He's like, never mind. Oh my God, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh.
What about $350?
And you can see a Ferrari.
Yeah.
You can see some guys. You can see some guys driving some cool Ferraris. Yeah. Okay. No, I don't know if I'm going actually. I'd really love to go, but this is a big project for Fran, so my Formula One time can also wait. We have plenty of opportunity to go to do things like this. So it'd probably be a lot more fun when Fran and I can enjoy it together.
So that's exactly it. Like I don't know how things are going to be at. Like, I don't know how busy we're going to go. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a better idea on Saturday. So
yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So y'all, if I post, a photo with Daniel Ricciardo, I made it to Formula One. And aside from that, I'm at home.
Daniel Ricciardo is taking the Mexicans' place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Perez?
Yeah.
How do I know that?
Because it's we've said it a couple times. Checo Perez.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. I think the project's great. I would love to go if I can,
we're
but I
very
totally
excited.
get it. So y'all, just to answer that question, I'm going to be kind of a last second decision.
Who asked that question? Is that your other account? Is that asked through? Was that your own question?
Nope. It looks like a woman that's in a relationship. She's just being supportive of me, as most of you are, which is very nice. When's the next live? I have an idea. What about you? You both make your favorite dip. Really glad you brought this very small detail up. Fran's not a dip guy. Who doesn't like a dip, by the way?
Oh, I liked a dip.
What kind of dip?
Do you know the butthole dip?
Stop. We're done. We're done with that. You don't like dips. You don't like my hot wing dip.
No, that's a buffalo.
You don't like buffalo.
I don't like buffalo dip.
Crazy. And I make that wing dip's amazing.
It's
you don't like a 7-layer dip.
Having like a vinegar bottle in.
That's so funny that you think buffalo. Anyway, so I like a dip off though. A dip off sounds nice. So yeah, we should do a competition and then let Candy be the judge with her refined palate.
No, I think we should. Yeah, because you
Or
gotta.
Remy. Remy could be the judge.
Yeah, Remy.
It all depends on his mood that
yeah,
day.
I think Remy's. It's the most unbiased we're gonna get.
He loves a sauce though. He's just like Mom. He loves a good condiment. I caught him the other day with the Chick-fil-A sauce. He was going. I mean, he was inhaling it. It was disgusting. I thought.
Well,
it was
that is
choke.
a really good sauce.
Oh, you like that sauce?
Yes,
The Chick-fil-A,
Chick-fil-A
sauce.
sauce is
You're not a
good.
sauce person. I mean, you eat that steak just like you feel like the
No,
blood
no.
is
Putting
the sauce.
steak in my
I have a moment every now and then. I'm
putting
like,
putting sauce in my steak is like a sin.
it's not. I get that you like a steak as is. Sure, you're such a great cook. Your steak has great flavor. But every now and then, I'm like, man, I just want something to go with the A1. I just want to pair something with A1 because I love the taste of A1 or even that Heinz 57. I'm like, I love a good sauce. But anyway, that's a great live idea. And you're absolutely right. We need to keep doing some lives. I think those do well. So how about we'll do one in a couple of weeks and as always, give a nice little discount code with it.
We'll do a Christmas or a Thanksgiving themed.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've really taken to the American Thanksgiving, haven't you?
Well, yeah. It's my birthday's week also, so that's what I'm very thankful of.
Oh, so now you're starting to drop the birthday stuff. This is a conversation we need to revisit on next week's show, and I am going to ask for one thing from some of y'all. I am usually an okay gift giver, but I'm having a really hard time I feel like there's a lot of pressure on 40, and Fran and I did agree that we are going to go to Europe next summer together for a while with Remy. Like we're going to do a nice family trip for both of us for our 40th. Now's the busiest time of year for me with business and same with Fran. So we're going to try something next summer when times are a little more slow. And that's going to be our celebration. But obviously I still feel like this partier sitting right here is going to be upset if we don't do something. But if you have any gift ideas or anything fun and meaningful and special, and stop telling me to buy him a watch. Like I'm not sitting here rolling in money like that. I'm not. And you have like a few nice watches. I get that that's like a good 40th gift for a guy, but I can't buy you a watch. That's not happening. So I need more budget friendly ideas. And if you have any, I would appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, you asking me or are they asking them?
I'm asking them. I'm just looking at you because I know you're out of nowhere going to be like, oh, we should like have a dinner party. And I'm going to be like, no, I really haven't planned anything,
I like spontaneity. I like things that happen last minute.
It's just not the way to live life, man. Not at our old age.
Well, I still feel young.
I mean, it's one thing to be like, hey, do you want to like go down the street for dinner tonight? Oh, hey, do you want to go like to the park? I mean, that's cool. But like, oh, hey, you want to throw a party tomorrow?
Yeah, let's send up 100 people invite.
Oh, it just
to
makes
see
me
who's
cringe.
available.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, so that's what someone wants to know. But I need some of your help. This is an interesting question from Jess. She said, what are you most proud of about your Fitish company success?
That's a really good question.
It is, and I'm just reading it on the fly without having thought of my answer already. But I'm sure my answer would change again. But if I really sit back and think about it, I think it can be, when you're running a business, it can be so hard when you're in a time where you're like, man, we're not doing as good this month as we were last month. And, you get so caught up in kind of where you're not at. How fucking cool that I was able to leave a career to just do this. And that's something the farther away I get from it, I forget how meaningful it was, right? Like, you move on, you're always kind of like, oh, what's the next phase? What's the next level of this for me? I want to grow it. I want to sell it. I want to do whatever. But, I think because you need new accomplishments, but for a long time, and I've made no secret of it, for a couple years in there, I really didn't want to be doing that anymore. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy. It just wasn't feeling like it was the right fit anymore. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that way with their jobs from time to time, but I really thought, is it even possible for me to kind of start something and that people like and that I'm able to just do that and don't don't even doubt that every morning I wake up and that's what I think about. So I think that's probably how to answer that question is every morning that I don't have to wake up at 3:00 in the morning anymore, that I am able to go get Remy from his nap when I'm working from home, that I'm able to be such a big part of my child's life, that's the freedom, I guess, that I earned myself. And that's the single thing that selfishly that I'm most proud of right now on a personal level. On a business level, I think how unexpected it's been helping people, and that's so cool because that's not something I ever thought about when I started making the products. I mean, I knew I was making it for something that helped me and I hoped that it would help other people with that same issue. But then to kind of see the stories beyond that with some just, actual skin issues that people have had, that's been super cool. And I love, that's I always tell people when you send me photos, and I'm so excited when people send me photos, really vulnerable pictures of their skin.
All their
being
before
really
and
bad.
afters are so
It's the single thing that helps my business the most. And so, yeah, it's kind of that twofold, really just personally the independence that it's given me, even though it's really hard to run a business and really scary to think that things could fall apart at any time. But at least I know I can go back to work. I can go back to doing something else that I was doing before. But so I would say those are probably the two different levels of things I'm most proud of.
That's amazing, for sure. And you should be proud. You've built something that it's great and it's helping people on top of it.
I think the hardest part's just it doesn't ever stop. Work doesn't ever stop, really. And I'm sure it doesn't for a lot of people. But when you work for yourself, it doesn't ever stop. I woke up at 4 a.m. last night. I could not stop thinking about things that I felt like I had forgotten to do. It's probably because I had a couple glasses of wine before bed. I haven't been drinking at all. And I think that alcohol really disrupts my sleep. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's still entrepreneurial life,
Yeah.
It's not a 9 to 5, but it's a 24/7.
Absolutely. I have someone that wants to come on the show. Actually, hopefully we can either get her on next week. But she reached out and I wanted to gauge everyone's interest. A, do you like when we interview guests? Or B, just this kind of content in general.
Or he.
She wrote us. She is a licensed speech therapist. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I don't want to be pulling it up on my phone right now. But she, with us kind of talking about Remy's speech and all the words he's saying. And of course, we have a lot of parents that listen to the show that are saying, oh my gosh, my kid's a month younger, a month older, isn't saying nearly as many words. And I'm always like, no, I think Remy's weird. I think Remy's just really chatty. I don't think it's anything to use as a marker, but she's written some books that are on Etsy, these digital downloads that are very developmentally appropriate, that help with kids' speech. And she has some great tips for, kind of what to do and what not to do if you're working on getting your kid to talk more.
Her name is Rachel.
No, it's not. But I thought I'd gauge the audience interest and see if you're kind of interested in hearing from someone that's an expert. I mean, Fran and I we're figuring it out as we go. We are by no means experts on anything like that with a kid. But if y'all are interested in that, I would kind of love to have someone like that on and speak with her about what to do and what not to do when it comes to that. But to end the show, it's funny you bring up Miss Rachel because he's kind of moving on from that. Now he wants Blippi, which drives me fucking crazy. I don't know. I don't like Blippi. But he's like, Blippi, Blippi dinosaur, Blippi Halloween. I mean, I swear, if my child asks one more time, more Halloween, more Halloween, more Halloween. I'm running out of Halloween to show him. I don't know what to do. Yesterday, I saw him greeting and saying goodbye to Michael Myers outside. But now I'm wondering if it's giving him nightmares because Michael's so scary. I don't think he understands that Michael is certain death for people that he encounters. He doesn't get that level of destruction that Michael Myers is, but he loves scary things, which is amazing, but I don't know what else to do. And then when we take all the Halloween down, but yesterday I asked him if he wanted to go look at more Halloween. He brought his little finger, his pointer finger up to the corner of his mouth and he went, and I went, to my mom, where did he learn that? Because neither Fran or I know, do you ever see your child do something and you go, I don't know where they get that mannerism from?
I normally go
I don't, well, you do the Mr. Evil, Dr. Evil, what am I saying? But he goes, but he'll do this once or twice a day when you ask him a question and he acts like he's thinking about it and he goes, I've never done that in my life. I do not do that. Fran doesn't do it. And my mom goes, Miss Rachel does it. Miss Rachel goes, he's doing the Miss Rachel.
That's so funny.
How influential those shows
Oh, well,
can be on
I'm
our
pretty
kids.
sure he's counting because Miss Rachel and some us.
Some us, yeah.
Um,
We're not the mathies over here.
Yeah, like this kid has seen a lot of Miss Rachel.
Yeah. Well, some, but now it's blippy. But now I'm like, wait, I should have focused less on Halloween and more on soccer. Just get him obsessed with soccer, right?
Golf.
Yeah,
I know.
that's okay too. But you're right. I think you can create a passion in something in your child.
In the mornings we
by-
watch airplanes, and he
Stop
goes,
it.
more airplanes, more
Why would you do that?
airplanes. Because it was in YouTube, and there was an air show, and he was fascinated.
Air disasters.
No, air show, babe.
This is what I have to live with my fear of flying, y'all. I drugged myself so much the other day. I fell asleep in the Uber on the way to the hotel. I never do that. I do not sleep during the day. I do not sleep in public. I fell asleep in the Uber, like zonked until I got to the hotel in LA from drugging myself in the airplane. I hate to fly. He better
You
not.
made it like 5 hours later, where am I?
Where am I? I know. I could have been anywhere. Tied up somewhere. Yeah, anywhere. So dangerous, so terrible. Shame on me. But I couldn't control it. That's how awful my stress of flying is. But
Well, I'm working on Remy's.
anyway, yeah, he didn't know enough yet to be stressed out about it. But yeah, give us your feedback if you'd like to hear more from some kind of, experts when it comes to raising our kids. Gosh, we could probably all use a little bit of that. Submit your questions. We'll plan a live and send out an email about that. And maybe I will see you in Austin this weekend, Franny.
Yes.
And if not, I will not be seeing you for about a week, which is going to be a really long time.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you just were like you were excited.
No,
It was like a nice little break. You're going to miss the shit out of Remy.
I'm going to miss the shit out of both of you.
Oh, it's okay. I know it's mostly Remy, but yeah, we're going to miss you getting up with him in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I love that you do that. Well, anyway, I hope everything goes well this weekend and maybe I'll see you. And if not,
Yeah.
we will both see you all next week.